All right, everybody, rise and shine, and welcome back to your average gamer shine as I move on to part three of Invade the NBA, where I lead Olympiacos basketball to an NBA championship someday. Whether it's this year, next year, the year after, or in 25 years, these my leagues go on for about 80, so we have that amount of time, and I think by then we can do it. So I was going to start recording one of my NHL series, but I thought, you know what? I really enjoy this basketball one right now, and I'm actually pretty intrigued at what this roster has been doing so far because we brought the Olympiacos basketball roster over as it is. And as it is, we were first in the division. We were fifth in the Eastern Conference, the very, very poor Eastern Conference. Again, two losses in a row can throw us all the way out of the playoffs. But regardless, this team has done some crazy things. And if you watched last episode, hopefully you guys did and aren't skipping around, we did make a couple trades. We picked up Omri Caspi, Andrea Bargnani, Nikola Pekovic, Jarrett Jack, and Costa Kufos, while trading away some of our lower bench guys, an 2018 first round pick, and I believe a 2017 or a 2018 second round pick in separate trades. So we didn't really give up too much right away. I still want to, like I said, hold on to our first round pick this year just in case we blow it and we end up having to rebuild completely. Now, what I'm going to do in this episode is sim to the end of the season. We are going to find out by the end of episode 3 how season 1 is going to end. Are we going to be able to make the playoffs? At this rate, we have a really good shot of it. Realistically, I don't think so, but we'll find out. We're first in the division, fifth in the conference. Anything can happen. With the improvements we made, I think this team has got a bit better. So we'll go right ahead here and we'll skip to the final game of the season against the Chicago Bulls. Trade deadline, we are all set with the deadline. We didn't make too many trades, like I said, but I'm confident with this team. And again, I don't want to, trade away the whole team and turn it into a super team right away. That would kind of kill the point of the series. So we're going to take this up. I got to do it again. I hit not simulate. There we go. Okay, so lose our first game. Now, the one thing that's really I'm questioning is the fan interest. Are we losing that because I'm simulating games? Because the team's not playing that bad. I mean, right now we've lost a few games in a row, but overall the team wasn't playing that bad. I would expect that we'd be gaining some interest. Regardless, 3 games under 500 right now. Still first in the division somehow as we close out the season. This is going to be a nail biter. We're going to stop the simulation right here. We are 38 and 38 with 6 games remaining. 44 and 38 would be our max record, of course. First in the division, 6th in the Eastern Conference. We are in a playoff spot right now. Incredible to think. Wow, the East is bad. I think we have this locked up. Not to jinx ourselves, but the East is terrible. So we may have this locked up. Even if we were in the West, we still have a chance. The West isn't doing too well either. So let's look right at our division rankings here. So we have a 4.5 game lead over the Celtics. I think we have this locked up. And honestly, we shouldn't have this locked up, but because the East is so bad, we are getting that done. Only averaging 94 points per game, but we are somehow getting the job done. This squad right here is getting the job done, and I am not complaining whatsoever. We were 25th in power rankings. That doesn't bother us. Does not bother us. So at this point, we're going to just simulate through the end of the year with supreme confidence that we can close it out, win 2 of our next games. We win 3 in a row, 4 in a row, 5 in a row, and we lose our last 2 to finish 42 and 40. But that's good enough to get us in the playoffs. Now we'll look here at the most valuable player, Kevin Durant. No surprise whatsoever. 38 and 8 just about with 2 steals and almost 2 blocks. Fantastic season, by Kevin Durant. Rookie of the year goes to Manny Madai. I guess you could call him Emmanuel. I don't know him enough to call him Manny. Not a surprise there. Great young prospect point guard. Manu Ginobili, 6th man of the year. Anthony Davis, defensive player of the year. All the leagues I've done, every simulation I've done, Anthony Davis is always a defensive player of the year candidate and most likely the winner I gotta say, at least 90% of the leagues I've done. Dante Exum wins the most improved player for Utah. Doc Rivers, Coach of the Year for LA, 61-21 record, not bad at all. They are the overall best team in basketball, according to every sort of ranking there is. So we'll move on here. The All-NBA first team, Lillard, Harden, Durant, James, and Gasol. Second team, Westbrook, Paul Anthony, Gasol, and Horford. Wade, Curry, Randolph, Griffin, and Cousins. Now, I doubt we'll see any players on our squad on any of these lists. Although I would be very excited to see that. We do not get that luck. Now we see Joel Embiid on the Suns again. If you do forget, I took out the 76ers in this game, but I spread it out. Is that a word? Spreaded? I released all the good free agents and let random teams pick them up. I did not take the liberty to pick them up. Jahlil Okafor also makes the all-rookie first team as a part now of the Houston Rockets. Joel Embiid again. The only one I didn't see is Nerlens Noel. So we're in the playoffs here. We will be matching up as the 5th seed against the Atlanta Hawks. That is pretty surprising. We got this team to a 42-40 record, and now as I go through the playoffs, video's not going on too long, so we will go through, I believe we'll go through the first playoff game here. First playoff series. We'll see if we can make it into round 2 and go up against LeBron James, presumably. I do want to look at the statistics here of our team. We had, of course, Spanoulis leading the team with 18 points per game. Bargnani came in with 13, Pekovic 12, Jarrett Jack 12, Manzares with 10. Caspi, the other starter here, the small forward, only averaging 7. Now, Papa Petro, they were telling me, the game was telling me to give him more minutes, but he really wasn't proving it when he was starting, only averaging about 6 points per game then. Still holds that 6 points per game off the bench, so we'll look into next year as he progresses. Again, only 22 years old. He should turn into a bit of a better player going into next year. I do like our point guard set, though. We have a nice young point guard, and Manzara, 73 overall, 25-year-old, and Jarrett Jack, the veteran, who's playing very well for us. So we'll see how that carries in to the postseason and to next year. Now, while we're at it, I skipped out a little too early. We'll head over to the Hawks and check out their squad. My goodness, they traded for LaMarcus Aldridge. Wow. Okay, so they're hot and heavy here in Atlanta. Al Horford, LaMarcus Aldridge, they're both averaging nearly identical numbers. That is absurd. 19-6 and 9-4 for Aldridge, 19.4 and 9.4 for Horford, and then Aldridge with 19.4 and 9.4. So practically identical numbers there. As you look through the rest, no big names. They traded Paul Millsap, obviously. I do see Jeff Teague, so we'll see who else they traded, because now I'm curious. Is it just Millsaps for... We can go check the trades. How about that? That would do. Trades here. Any interesting trades we had at the deadline? Garnett goes to the Spurs. DeAndre Jordan to the Thunder for Enes Kanter. Okay. Aldridge for Millsap and a first-round pick. That's a pretty realistic trade. I don't think it would be made too often, but I can understand that with the pick in there. Love and Mozgov for Jefferson and Williams. So some pretty interesting trades. It's cool to see the computer making trades that, make sense to a degree. We pretty much were the last 3 big trades here. Again, not going for the big names, but I think we made some good trades. Here. All right, so let's go on to round number 1 against the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta coming in at 51-31. Obviously, they're big 2 up top with Horford and Aldridge. We'll head into Simcast and see what happens. Slow it down a little bit. Okay, so heading through the second quarter here, we are up front. Very close game. Going into the third, we're trying to hold on. Going to be a low-scoring one, it looks like. Can we take game number 1? Back and forth, and we do. Olympiacos, 31 points from Spanoulis, and we take game number 1 over the Atlanta Hawks in this best-of-7 series in the opening round of the playoffs. Awesome game by Olympiacos And even a better game by Spanoulis, putting up 31 in his first NBA playoff game. Going right to game number 2. Let's get through this whole series, like I said, to close out the episode. Right into an early lead here. They're making a nice comeback, does Atlanta, but wow, we go off. 20-point lead going into halftime. Atlanta slowly mounting a comeback. Wow, they really came back quick. Don't want to blow this lead, and we just did. And back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He gets it. We win the game. I don't know how. They win the game. Big numbers from Spanoulis again leading the team. Pekovic 21 and 13. I knew that was going to be a great pickup there. Can we see a score report? I'm pretty sure right here, a layup with 7 seconds left to win the game. Spanoulis, captain clutch on Olympiacos, gets us the win to go up 2-0 in the series. What a job by this Olympiacos team. The Cinderella story, attempting to take it all the way to the finals. What a game. As boy, we definitely blew that lead. We're up by 18 exiting the first quarter. And slowly but surely, Atlanta mounted that comeback. But it doesn't matter in the end. Olympiacos 2-0 in the first round of the best-of-7 series. Let's go right on to game number 3 and start the simulation. We are at home this time. Coming over to Greece are the Atlanta Hawks. Again, we aren't relocating. I just don't feel like going through the process. I like having this Olympiacos team. Maybe use the time zone delay to my advantage here. We're in the lead again in the fourth. Another close game, battling back and forth. This one's going to go to Atlanta, 92-90. This has turned into a great series. Again, we'll check out the game log once again. This was another Cephalosha's 2 free throws here with 4 seconds left. Wow, 4 seconds left. That is the difference here. Spanoulis looks like he stole the ball and had a turnover all in the same motion. So, a crazy end to that game right there. As Atlanta comes back now, a 2-1 series lead for Olympiacos. We'll move right into game number 4. Huge lead to start off for Atlanta on the road. Definitely not letting the road bother them. Up by 17. Starting to pull away big time here. Going to need a big comeback mounted, and I don't think that's going to happen right now. Down by almost 30 points. So our second home game, definitely not something to write home about. Spanoulis has a good game off shooting night. I think the big difference here, right down here, Nikola Pekovic absolutely outmatched by both Aldridge and Horford for Atlanta. Aldridge goes off with 30 and 13. Horford 15 and 11. Great game for Thaddeus Young, 18 points on 6 of 8 shooting. Jeff Teague passed the ball around enough to get a double-double. So a big game there. Shooting percentage wasn't too far off. I wonder what the big difference was. The bench came alive for Atlanta, and that's really the big difference between our teams. Our bench for Olympiacos is not too big. And, I guess you could say it's big. We got plenty of players, but it's not too skilled. It's not going to bring you those points that you want. So we're really going to have to rely on the starting lineup to get it off to a hot start in that first quarter and be able to hold on to that lead throughout the game. Series tied 2-2, just like that. We'll head into game number 5 back on the road in Atlanta. We'll see if this team can come back from 2 straight losses and take the series lead back here in the first round. Close game at the half. Very low scoring, actually. Very, very low scoring. Huge lead, though. Huge third quarter, I should say. It's going to be another low-scoring game and another dropped game for Olympiacos. Down 3-2 in the series now. It's going to be a nail-biter. Very poor shooting from the team. Spanoulis tries to make his three-pointers as he has a very high three-point rating. Not tonight, though. 4 of 12. Very poor shooting from the field. 33% for Olympiacos. That was definitely an off night. 40% for the Hawks. Off night on both ends. And, if this was real life, that would probably be one of the most low-scoring games in NBA history. Playoff history, I would say. So we're going to move on. This is one of the deciding games here. Can Atlanta shut the door on Olympiacos' playoff Dreams moving on to the next round. Up 3-2 our Atlanta as we head back to Greece for game number 6. Another close game. Low-scoring first quarter. Olympiacos, we have the advantage right now heading into the half. Tie game just about. Or Atlanta will actually lead by 2. Back and forth they go. Olympiacos has the lead. Atlanta's up by big margin there, and they will win the game by 2 points just like that. So how about it? Olympiacos, they showed some fight. They showed a lot of fight there, leading a lot in that fourth quarter. Many occasions they had that lead throughout the game, and they just weren't able. Tough break there. We're not able to close the deal. As that game was ended with 8 seconds, Thabo Cephalosha with the big jump shot. Bargnani misses a shot there, and the game ends just like that. So a lot of late game shots from Atlanta to move them on to the next round. So at this point, being out of the playoffs, we will sim through the NBA Finals, and we will see who is your champion. My guess, it would be Cleveland. No, the San Antonio Spurs take home the title. Even without LaMarcus Aldridge, they use Paul Millsap to their advantage, and Millsap goes off in game number 7. Good game for him. The whole team came alive. Ginobili shows he definitely deserved that 6th Man of the Year award, dropping 20 points in only 19 minutes. 17 rebounds from big boy Tim Duncan. Great run there, I guess you could say. Spreading the wealth with these points here. A lot of guys, 6 guys over double figures, so... LeBron goes off. Tristan Thompson goes off. Just not enough. As Cleveland falls short in Game 7. So, that will be it for our first season of Olympiacos basketball. We'll check off the retired players here. Apparently I have the authority to override the retired players. That's pretty interesting. So, we lose Tremel Darden. He was the small forward originally getting more minutes than one of our younger prospects there. So, you know, not going to hurt us too much. But we do lose one of our originals, a Tremel Darden, a small forward. So, can't say we'll miss him too much, but sad to see one of the originals go. Staff retirements here. None of them affect us. And the Hall of Fame inductees, no surprises there. So, we'll move on. This is our league realignment. That'll be interesting to see what that is. I don't know how they would, if they're going to realign the league whatsoever. So that'll be it for episode number 3. Thank you for joining me here. This one ran a little longer than 15 minutes, but I think that's okay. It was a pretty interesting episode. We got to see our playoff dreams get exciting for a little bit over those first 2 games after we made the playoffs in the first place. Pretty surprising. And then we fell just short, losing 4 games to 2 to the Atlanta Hawks. So thank you for tuning in to episode 3 of Invade the NBA with Olympiacos basketball. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Any suggestions you have, please, I'd love to hear them. And until next time, have a very average day.